Awesome. All right, everybody, thanks for being here. This is Vincenzo Belpiede. We're going to talk today about how to spot and hire the best blockchain talent. This is me. It's best place on the map because I was born in Italy, and then I lived in Mexico. So the blue countries where I lived in Mexico, then I lived in Serbia, in Switzerland, in Finland. I worked at Nokia there for seven years, with them in Germany, then in China, then in US, and 10 years abroad. So I'm now back in Italy, where hello? Is this not, okay, cool. So it's been easy for me to come to Malta for the last 5 months. I've been here 3 times. It's great to be here. So as I said, I've always been in tech, been in the blockchain space for about a couple of years or so. It's a really awesome space, and with this company, Stellar Talents, it's basically a company that's operating on its own with a bunch of super smart HR ladies that are recruiting best talents for a lot of blockchain companies that already raised funding. But the truth is that I learned myself the hard way when I first became an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley in 2014, that recruitment and getting the talents, it's the toughest thing for an entrepreneur. And I'll just give you some numbers. 25% of the projects, they're abandoned because there's not enough talent. The people that apply to your job posts is just less than 20% of those you end up getting, because you typically get relatively low quality applicants. And you see the other numbers, but it's a tough game. It's even tougher because there's so many different tools out there that you need to always be kind of updated with, and so on and so forth. And the blockchain industry itself, it's another complex industry where there's a lot of other players that you need to learn and work with. This is not for you. I'm not going to explain any of this. It's just to talk about a bit the complexity of that. So first of all, when you get your blockchain startup, you try to figure out, should I get an internal recruiter, or should I get a smaller versus a focused firm, or larger talent recruitment firm? I prefer to call it talent recruitment. It's just not a word I love. Sorry, the slide's a little bit cut, but who here studied economics in this room? So okay, a couple of you. So the point is that, when you're just getting started on that slope, and the work specialization is slow and the productivity is slow, you're not in a good spot, right? So you either want to hire that recruiter that has got that experience, if you're lucky enough to hire from one of the larger companies that are paying them a lot of money, or you find a firm that is, I would say, in my opinion, not that huge, so it's still kind of relatively productive and can help you get the best talents, and it's relatively easy to work with, and they will respond fast. So I think that's what you want to keep in mind in general. So keep in mind, if they're specialized, if they get that kind of global outlook, if you're a global company, that's very important, that they respond fast, that they use the latest technologies, the large network, the technical vetting. These are just some thoughts. I don't know if, by the way, if any guys want to ever interrupt and say there's something missing or there, please shout. And there's one thing that's really important that we got to think is that we can't just post a job post on one of the job boards and just post and pray, because for a few reasons. First of all, the demand for technical talent exceeds supply by a big number, which I'm not really going to recite to you, but you can just see the graph. And yeah, if you just post and pray on one of these platforms, you're not going to get the level of talents that you're going to need to make your company succeed. So it's really key that you actively pursue talent and not just random job posts. I know I'm repeating, but it's like the most important thing there, because most of the people, most of the developers, this is for instance from Stack Overflow, I believe, they're not actively looking, but they're open to new opportunities. So you want to get those kind of people, and the amount of time that they spend looking for opportunities is very, very, very low. So they don't spend much time, and it's actually what we've been doing, where we've been basically feeding them with feeding some of the best. First of all, finding the best talents, and then feeding them with some of the best options, so to make that demand and supply meet. at the highest level. The good news is that there's a lot of professional developers in Europe. This is coming from a study of Atomico, those guys that sold Skype and built one of the best VCs in Europe, in the world. And there's not even great countries like Serbia in here that have less developers, but really high quality. Shout out to my friends here from Serbia. And this is kind of like the work that we do, whereby, you know, out of all those numbers, you kind of analyze the talent a lot more deeply on different types of interviews, on the psychological level, attitude level, skills, technical, etc. And then each company kind of prefers a certain kind of talent. This is really important for each company. It's super important. You want to write really good job descriptions, and that helps you think about, like, why should people choose your company, and to be really specific on the role, right? Like, there's so many companies just saying, we just need a blockchain talent, and I'm like, hold on, just go do some homework, please, and figure out, like, what exactly do you need? Because, you know, we can help you, but also you need to help yourself. And I think that it's really important to create a culture that attracts and entices talents to come to your company, and yes, that includes perks. So, you know, one of the most important things today is for companies to be open in terms of letting people work remotely, because you'll find a lot more talents remotely, and they'll be a lot happier. So that's where I think, like, blockchain companies should definitely be open to. Who here, for instance, like is open to remote? Can you put your hand up? I'm wondering. Also, just to see if you're still alive. You know, I'm just concerned. All right. Who here is against remote? Is anybody against remote? The other people don't hire or don't have people? Okay, cool. This, for instance, you know, come up with, like, innovations. This is one of, like, the first company got me into blockchain, BitDM, which basically helps. It's a protocol that helps get payments done in a recurring fashion more often and so on. So whatever tools you can use, you know, whether it's BitDM or others, to pay people more often, upfront, and so on, like, think about those. Like, what else can you do? All right. What else can you do to attract people? You know, there are new tools, new payment mechanism. There's a lot of technology out there that you can choose to get the best talent. And, you know, the other thing is that, like, definitely at all levels, network widely and deeply. By that I mean that, for instance, that's why I try to do at different conferences, where I kind of try to meet as many people as possible, and then kind of also prioritize the people that kind of you're supposed to meet and try to go deep with them. But because the point is that you never know where the next opportunity is going to come out from which contact. So I've been, like, kind of a serial networker myself. I'm at 21,000 followers or connections on LinkedIn. I still have, there's like 700 invitations that I'm now being careful with. Before I was accepting everybody, now I'm like, okay, because there's a 30,000 people limit there. And so, like, networking is super important, and you should definitely push everybody in your organization to do that, because you never know where that referral is going to come out from. The other thing is that you definitely want to hurry and move, because in hiring the talent, because at Stellar Talents, you know, like, right now we're still, like, very much the team is focused on matching talents to other companies, but it has happened in one case, and that was fun, and we'd definitely like to do it again, where you know, we always ask developers, like, okay, if you have any projects that you're building on the side, let us know, because, you know, I've myself built startups before, and I've been advising different startups, and, you know, my dream one day is to become an investor and help you get going. So if I can help you with that, let me know. So, for instance, one great top developer from Mexico, he was building this crypto exchange in Mexico, and now basically we've been working on this, and there was a nice animation there, of course, in Google Slide. This is PDF, hence you're not seeing it, but you can see it online. So that was just kind of one example for us to not lose talent and try that out. But, you know, the point is that applies to everybody else, is that it's so much easier to get a company started, to get a company going for a technical developer, that, you know, the competition there, it's extremely tough, right? And then I would say that, you know, this is our motto, our company motto. If you get one of my cards later, it's written on my card. That's how much we believe this. that talent is universal and opportunity is not. So that means that, you know, actually the graph here on the left, the map on the left is showing specific nations, but really talent could be in Africa as well. There's this company called Andela that raised $30 million in Bay Area that basically focus on finding the best developers in Africa, and there's even talents there. So talents is everywhere, and you got to be open to remote. Again, I highlight that strategy. I think it's probably the most kind of important piece. And then, you know, from this HackerRank report, if you Google it and find it, you'll see that for each country, there is different countries that are specific or special in some areas. Like, for instance, blockchain, you know, when we've been doing research, I'm Italian, and I was very sad to see that the amount of Italian developers in blockchain is very low compared to Serbia. And Serbia is, what, 6 million people? 6.5 million people is Vini, I'm sorry. And, and Italy, 60 million people. 2 million in Italy, all right. So, you know, that's when you have to think like, you know, where is Serbia? Some Americans are always confused with Siberia. So you want to get, it's not Siberia, by the way. You want to get your map out, get your travel tickets out, you know, explore the world and figure out like where's a good place also for you as a fit, where you want to establish an office, establish a presence, but definitely don't just think where you're located, I would say. I think that's pretty much it, to be honest. Like, I wonder if you have any questions. I don't know, how much time do we have, Catherine? Okay, yeah, if you guys have any questions, we'd love to take them, you know. Is everybody asleep? Do you guys want coffee? Okay.
So where are you sourcing talent, or where do you see talent coming into Malta primarily?
I mean, yeah, I would say one thing that matters with talents is definitely time zone can matter. So like if you're in Malta, much better to focus on Eastern Europe, for instance. So you can optimize that, you know, like relatively, you know, price competitive, good, you know, same or similar time zone, and, you know, kind of cultural understanding and all of that, and plenty of talent available as well, like easy to fly them in or out, etc. So yeah, I would definitely focus on countries in Eastern Europe, like there's Serbia, there's Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, and then kind of it really depends also on your personal level of contacts and so on, which country you have some level of contacts where you feel most comfortable in, I would say. That has been at least my experience. Then it depends if it's completely remote or if you like to have like, you know, have the team meet up at some point, or kind of going towards having them all go in the same office one day. I don't know if that answers your questions.
Yeah, no, that's helpful.
Cool. Anyone else, or? Okay, so you're all ready to recruit right now and get new talents. Perfect. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Sorry? Yeah, hire Catherine Su. She's amazing. All right. Thank you.